There's a function when the birds migrate back, and just over my left shoulder is the first that I've seen ducks since last year before the snow. Hopefully they won't get too scared for my early presence, as they've probably never seen a human since the last. Yep, the female flew away first, and then the male followed. I've seen geese, but hey, duckies. How serious is this? So the different gradient of the weathering will determine. So from a distance, it's like a distance away, it looks really like a good point of view. And so from a good point of view of it, you can have, as well as inferencing with my hat, so different people will see the picture coming into fruition in different places. You can use that as a mood. It could be an advance in color or shape. The material is coalescing. Do you remember when Trump went to Kenosha and went to the racetrack and was doing laps in the Secret Service vehicle? It was freaking sweet, dude. This fence is on its way out. You see the clear signs of the science. Leveled out, not so even. Conclusion that this is how signs get perforated first. There yesterday, it's now gone. So who knows if this sign's blowing around, disintegrating. For all we know, it was there, now it's gone. It's great. Say that spray paint wasn't from the flags flapping. We were in perfect line with them. See, this is a pull I would do ring around the rosy, and it's too close to the road. But one sign that I would like to say that the sign could be more skew than a big one if it were a stick. You know, this stick is, though small, it's somewhat significant when you get a whole bunch together. So when I'm taking pictures of snowbanks and talking about the snow and trying to figure out how much important our DNA is compared to the snow that lacks DNA, I'm making an attempt to not become ash without matter in what it looks like to be, how long until the sun engulfs everything? I don't know, over 1,000 years. Hey, give or take. That option is inevitable unless we find a science to divert the earth from the sun, or maybe make the earth stronger than the sun, so it can have the sun blow up and plow through us, but we'll still be protected on Earth. Reverse engineer the sun from ever imploding. Even if the sun does explode and we survive through it, now we don't have a sun to stay warm. I don't suppose you'd make an artificial sun. We might want another sun to get oriented in, perhaps orienting another star in as the sun explodes, in order to just substitute it. I'm so intrigued with this is that social distancing, that's a signal, that's a subliminal message in your brain. If someone was to ask you, can you take a picture with my phone? Here's my phone. In their brain, they're not to get too horoscope-esque, but the science of that is uncanny. Yes, another clue. Remember when we were looking for my hat and we couldn't find it as at a distance? It's reminiscent to it being covered with anything. In this case, this is not a sign, but it is a glove covered. And oddly enough, it has stripes like the other sign that was just probably a poster card. And one demoralizing factor that I just thought of during the lockdown, or maybe forever, when there's like the virus around and you want to take a family picture, you ask someone to grab your phone. There's no more of that. No one's going to grab the phone and take a picture for you if they're in favor of not being free. Sign number 9, and this one looks kind of important as we're including multiple people, one short person and a dog. It says please keep off, and it's hard to see when it's on the ground and covered. Oh well. Yes, and just as I expected, it was weathering. That's what I was trying to describe with the cryptography of weathering to a degree when you focus in or pan out. It's what we were seeing earlier. The cracks were what was differentiating the body of the weathering solution. Even here, okay, not a profound word, we're safe. This is where the crack tops, the converging. Weathering and what's the relation between spray paint and ink? Not quite a sign, but I can tell that would be a phase change right before it parted. And perhaps that's a great way to understand that states want symmetry as they depart. By understanding the literacy components of symbolism when writing disoriented letters, the breaking of messages. Put like on a video camera that I don't want to be pirating, so just wondering if that's a flag slurred verbally. This is documenting Flagstaff. So you cannot make this up. The more you look for signs, the more you find that they're everywhere. How many of them have been diminished? I can count 8 in the last day. First step would probably be to diffract it with a whole bunch of cuts. This is probably how signs are dissolved. Look at the variance. That's actually the brimmed. They both are brimmed. On camera, they're different. In real life, it's just a blur, a circle blur. So that's a diffraction. Yeah, this looks kind of cool. The rust being orange looks better than if it wasn't rusted. But understanding how to make that a different color, if you want to make it like a color of your preference, it would be organic, meaning it would be no different than it rusting naturally. Kind of like the thing in your head where some people hear Lionel and then the other one hears Lonnie, and then also I lost what I was going to say. Hey, did you see where my hat went? It's one of a kind. The other thing I want to focus on is how is DNA significant from an object without DNA, like a snowbank. And I know I'm speaking so loosely, but I think that we have the capability of Doctor Strange's cape and Iron Man's suit without having a cape or an iron suit. Apes are actually the closest animal to the human species, by and large, because of the thumb, the fifth appendage. More importantly, back to the signs here. More signs. Now, if you tell me that this isn't on its way to disintegration, then I might as well be a monkey's uncle. A lot is tension, and you can relate a lot to tension not having water on it, because if I land on the rock part with the water going over it, the similarity is uncanny, especially when society's falling apart, quite literally. The paint is stripped, the tiles are shattered. We saw signs the other day that were tipped over, who knows for how long. One thing I love is the apologetic videos, like Shane Dawson, when he was apologizing for making fun of a little girl. It's just like the drama on YouTube. It's so great. Here's a shot in the dark. The ancient Egyptians were slaves. That's how the pyramids were made. What if the pharaoh was like, broaden the base, pick up the pace, pick up the pace. What this is referring to is